Uh, yeah, so, okay, so I just wanted to tell you like this story time that happened to me that I was just like, what? I cannot believe it. All right, so I have been having like the shittiest luck lately. I think that it's over, but like the past 2 months I've been having like the shittiest luck. I'm trying to tell you, like, you ever like, have those moments where it's like one bad thing happens and then on top of another until it gets to the point where you think it's an absolute joke. Like it's like, what the fuck, like it's just silly. It's silly, and you're just like, you even get to the point. I don't even think that I got to that point of laughing because it's just like it was just so bad. But like, okay, this happened to me, I don't know, a few days ago. I think it happened Thursday of last week, okay? I was like, why not tell this story? Because it's a little bit crazy. Now, if you know, like, things that have been happening to me lately, you would be like, girl, damn, like, okay, like, no, that's a little nuts. I was feeling like somebody gave me the evil eye. I don't know. I do not friggin' know. But yeah, people have just been mad disrespectful to me. Like, I don't know. It's really, really nuts. Okay, let me just tell you what happened. So, it was a school day. The kid, my youngest son, he wasn't out of school. He is now, but he wasn't out of school yet. He had like 2 days left of school, and I decided to send him, not the last day, but like the day before that. He had a half a day, but I wanted him to go. So, but I had the night before, I was busy doing something and didn't even realize that it was like past my son's bedtime. It was like 9:30, where he's supposed to be in bed at 8:30. You know what I mean? And then, oh, okay. So I'm like, oh shit. Like, I hope that he's gonna be able to get up at early. Because we get up seriously like just before 6 o'clock every morning. Okay, except on the weekends, obviously. And then, so yeah, well, I got him to sleep, but then I myself, I couldn't get to sleep. I could not sleep. Okay. So I'm like, damn, but I'm all right. I'm all right. I'll wake up in the morning. Fall asleep, wake up. Yeah, it's 6:30, the time that he's supposed to be downstairs trying to get that school bus, right? And I'm like, oh, damn. So I quickly got up. And I knew that he wasn't going to make that school bus, and he didn't. But I already knew that. So I got him dressed, got myself dressed, and I decided to take a cab. So I called the cab. But like this never happens. Usually I have to wait the longest fucking time. So I decided, let me call him now. By the time like I'm finished doing the last bits of stuff that I need to do in my apartment, then we'll be downstairs and I'll only have to wait like a minute or two for him to come, the driver, right? But like, I swear to God, as soon as I hung up, I threw the phone down. 30 seconds later, I get an automated call. I got two of them saying like urgent, like your driver is downstairs waiting for you. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, oh fuck. So I'm like running around, trying to grab this and that, and my keys, my purse, my this, my that, like my phone, everything. By the way, my phone, like, my phone was like not even recharged overnight. It wasn't like recharging right. It was like, I was like really pissed off about that. But anyway, I'm like, screw that anyway. So I grabbed everything. And then I got like a last phone call, like from the actual driver, right? And he goes like this, he was like, I'm downstairs waiting for you. And I was kind of like annoyed at this point, but kind of forward, but I was still respectful. But I'm like, I explained to him, I said, hey, listen, I was like, this never happens, but I literally just called and ordered a cab, and 30 seconds later I got a call back. Could you just please and I wasn't expecting that, could you just please give me like a minute to like, I live like all the way up on floor, like it's gonna take me about 2 minutes to get downstairs, right? So I'm running down the corridor and I'm trying to get down there. I'm looking all over the place looking for this cab, and he's not there. So I go ahead across the street to my friend's store, right? And I'm like, hey, could I use your phone? Because I don't even know where this cab went. Got on the phone with the lady. The lady goes like this, she was like, excuse me. the attitude. I'm sick and tired with people's goddamn attitudes, because when I talk to people, I do not give attitude. I give mad respect. Like, if you think that you give respect to others, and they don't give you any damn respect back, like, it's pitiful. But anyway, so I go like this, I'm like, yeah, well, I don't even know where he is. And she was like, yeah, well, you are on no show. You are on no show. Like, she's talking to me like that. And I'm like, she was like, and I'm talking to her, and you know how like when people are quiet but still they're not listening, it's kind of like they're just huffing and puffing, like waiting for themselves to calm down, like to like muster up, you know, a response, but they're not listening to me. But I'm like calmly saying, hey, like, this is what happened, and she's like, you can hear her on the phone. You need to flag yourself down a cab. That's what you need to do. You need to flag yourself a cab. No, ma'am. Because, like, I'm trying to, like, interject here. I'm like, but, ma'am, no. You need to flag yourself a cab. Boop. And she hangs up on me. I'm like, okay, well, that was very rude. But I'm like, at this point, I'm like, you know what? Screw the cab, because, like, basically, I don't like taking cabs anyways. I only agreed to take that cab for the sake of my son, to be maybe possibly 10 minutes late instead of an hour, okay? But at this point, I'm like, you know, screw the cab. I'm not flagging no damn cab down. So I got my son his snack and whatever, and then I get down, I go to the bus stop. Here's the funny thing, like, I saw it was the independent cab company. I saw the independent cab company. He's driving down the street like this. He was looking for my ass. I'm like, keep looking, bitch, because now I'm done. I'm good with you. So damn rude. And you know what? I don't even understand why it is that they feel a need, that they feel really free to be so damn rude to the customers, because they now have like big time like competition with Uber. You know, like, nobody takes the cabs anymore because, number one, they're too goddamn expensive, and number two, with their attitude, and they try to scam you. As soon as you get into that cab, they scam you, and they act like, so where's the school? Where is it? How do you get there? I'm like, bitch, like, now, I don't swear out in the public. The only time I swear is like really in my house. But like, I'm like, bitch, I'm like, you've been a driver for like 20 years of your goddamn life. You don't know where the school is. You've been a driver in Boston. You don't know where the school. And then they'll drive you all around town, all around the world before they get to your destination to get as many dollars from you as possible. But I'm telling you, like, if you give them like a voucher or something like that, oh, they know how to get there, and they'll get you there in like 10 minutes flat. But all of a sudden, like, when you got cash, that's when they're like, oh, this is gonna take like a 20-minute, like, you know, come on, man. Anyways, so boom, where I dropped him off at the school, boom, I wait for the bus to try to get back to Dudley, right? So I had to catch the one bus, right? So the stupid fare boxes, they're not even working that right. They don't work right. All that, those millions of dollars that they bumped up the fare to pay for these brand new buses and trains and that stuff, those fare boxes don't even friggin' work 3/4 of the time. Okay, so anyways, I get on and I use my little Charlie card, where you put the money on the card and you pay. And if you go in extended, if you have to transfer over to another bus, that means to get off one bus onto another bus to continue on with your destination, it gives you a transfer, right? But so I tapped the card, it didn't ding to say that I paid. So I tapped it again, I'm like, and so the bus driver was like, it's all right, just go sit down. And I'm like, okay, cool. But now I had to get on the second bus, but I wasn't gonna go right home because I was gonna go do some errands, so I wanted to get on the 42 instead of the bus that I get on to get home, right? So I get on the 42. Now this is where the shit hits the fan, okay? I tell like the longest fucking stories anyway. I'm just telling you, like, from morning until like until I got home. It was just nuts. But anyways, yeah. So some alcoholic gets on the bus in front of me, and the bus driver is giving him like attitude, like, excuse me, you're 20 cents short. And he was like, well, I'm paying for myself and my the young lady that I'm with. Like, I swear to God, he had a bozo nose, a big red bozo nose on his nose. He was also like roughed up alcoholic. He had like a purple eye and some scratches right here, like alcoholic, you know, red, ruddy, puffed up skin, you know, from like cheap liquor, and yeah, alcoholic. So he looked like he had like a couple of drinks in, but not enough to like get him too stupid. But yeah, I think he had enough. But anyways, so he was like, well, I'll just ask I'll just ask the lady, you know, to at least just give me 20 cents walk and pay. But like, he was just being like, all right, cool, like, you know what I mean? Well, let me tell you about, like, I'll get there. So he goes ahead and he gets on, and he quickly puts his 20 cents in, right, and then goes sits down. Then I go ahead and I go and I tap my card, right, and I'm like, well, what's going on with this fare box, whatever. And so he was like, ding your card again. So I ding it again, and it says short. And he goes like this. So it was like, excuse me, it says right there that you're short. And he's talking to me like this. This is not some bum off the street. This is not some loser. This is a guy who has a good paying job, and, you know, like a good paying job. Because I know that somebody's doing fireworks a little early. But they get paid damn well. If you don't think that they don't, bus drivers, they get paid really, really, really good, okay? Good enough that you shouldn't be sitting there with a damn attitude. Like, give me a break. And plus, that's not even your goddamn job to be so damn rude to people and all so ghetto. So he goes like this. It was like, yeah, you need to tap that card again. And so I tapped it. He was like, yeah, it says you're short. And I had to explain to him. I said, I'm like, very calmly, because like, there's nothing to get upset about with at this point. It's just a matter of talking it out. So I explained to him what happened. I said, I just got off the one bus. I don't know exactly what happened with the card, but I did just get off the one. There should be a transfer on the card. He was like, well, I don't know anything about that. I don't even know what you're talking about. All I know is that you need to either pay or get off the bus. And I'm like, I just explained to you, sir. And then he was like, let me see. And then he has like, there's like a little computerized thing. He turns it this way to like see. He was like, ding your card. Ding, yeah, ding your card. Because like, he knew that I was like lying, right? It was supposedly, he knew that I was a goddamn liar, right? So I was like, at this point, I'm just like, Ramona, tap the card. Just tap it. Don't, you know. So I tap it. And he was like, okay, let's see. Okay, so at 8:32 or 8:36, right? You got on the bus, okay? And like 8:32, you paid twice on that one bus. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, so doesn't that show that I just got off the bus and perhaps I accidentally tapped the card? I was like, why don't you just let me sit down, sir? Because, you know, obviously you see on your screen right there that I paid, and I just want to get to my destination. I'm not asking to get on for free. I already paid. It was just something wrong with the fare box. He was like, ma'am, you need to get off the bus. Like, he's talking to me. I was like, oh. I was like, I'm just gonna go sit down because this is ridiculous. There's no way. It's the principle of the matter. I'm not gonna pay. And I go like this. I'm like, it's not the matter that I can't afford to pay to get on this bus. And I took out a wad of money from my little pink purse, my little pink change purse, and I went ching, like, and I let the money fan out. It wasn't that much. It was like a 20, a 10, and a 5s and some 1s. I don't know. But I was like, I have the money. It's not about that. He's looking at my money like he felt stupid a little bit, you know what I mean? But still, you know how like those people who feel stupid, they put on a big goddamn show, and at the end, they're proven wrong, but they don't want to feel even more stupid, so they want to continue being an asshole. Like, and I go like this, I'm like, it's a principle of the matter. I don't feel that I need to repay when you clearly see for your own eyes that I paid and I accidentally tapped the transfer. I'm just gonna go sit down. So I go ahead and I go sit down. I'm not getting off the goddamn bus, right? So he was like, so he waits 30 seconds. Oh, he goes like this. He was like, if you have a problem, you need to go see the instructor. And I'm like, okay. He was like, so you wanna talk to the instructor? And I'm like, yes. So like he waits 30 seconds and he was like, ma'am, you need to get off this bus. And I'm like, I thought you were calling the instructor. And he was like, all right, you know what? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call that instructor. So he was like, yeah, there's a late, and he goes and explains. The person on the other end of the phone had obviously asked, is she being unruly? And then he replied to say, yes, she is being unruly. Like, just like that. I was like, I am not being unruly. I'm sitting here in the chair talking to you very respectfully, my legs crossed, my arms crossed, and I'm just holding my stuff. I'm just waiting for the instructor. You're lying. I'm not being unruly. And so guess what? Not only did the instructor come, but guess what? Wait for it. Oh, wait for it. He called the fucking police. He called the police on me. He called the fucking police on me. He called the popo. Yes, he did. He called the popo. So now we have an irate bus driver. Okay, we have the instructor who was mildly retarded. I don't know. Well, maybe he had like post-traumatic stress disorder from his job. I have no idea, but he was like really looking weird, and he wasn't even doing his job. He had some kind of thing that he took out of his pocket, and he just like this. He's like, I swear to God, he's like fiddling it. Like, you know when people have like an anxiety or like a nervous habit, like, so he's like turning it around like. And I go, excuse me, instructor, could you just please look at the screen? He clearly showed me that I paid, I tapped the card twice accidentally. I accidentally tapped my transfer away on the bus. That the fare box is not working, but you can clearly see that I already paid. I just want to get on the bus, as I have every right to do. I paid for the service. He's like, just like that, he wouldn't say anything. And the police officer is like trying to like diffuse the situation. There's no situation to diffuse, right? But diffuse the driver, because he was the one who was making the most ruckus, right? And by the way, I had forgot to mention that while I'm sitting there, you know, a few of the passengers started yelling and screaming, "Get off the bus! Get off the bus!" Right? I was like, oh my God, this is not good. This is not good. I've been having I'm like saying in my head, like, this is not good at all. I've been having such bad luck for 2 months. Like, why is this shit happening to me? Like, why is it happening to me? Get off the fucking bus, right? And I'm like, oh. They're like all yelling at me, and the biggest mouth of them all was the fucking guy with a big red bozo nose on his face. Now I know the psychology of people, and like this is happening in my understanding. Like, I know that he's like making a big fucking to-do, because just a minute ago when he was getting on the bus, he was made to feel a little stupid because he was 20 cents short, thinking he was going to pay for his prostitute lady. She was a prostitute. I'm just trying to paint the picture here, okay? And he's like yelling and screaming. He was like screaming at me. He was like, basically, like, he's been disrespected for a long time because he's an alcoholic. People probably look down on him all the time. So he's taken this one ass opportunity to see somebody who supposedly is having issues trying to get on the bus money-wise. He was able to pay his fare and the lady's fare with the help of her 20 cents. But he was like, he just feeling like the man. He was like, get off the bus, get off the goddamn bus, I have somewhere to go. I'm like, where the hell? So I finally said, this is when I lost my nerve. This is when I lost my, like, my diplomacy. I yelled back, I'm like, you need to sit down and shut up. I go like this, I'm like, before you start clowning on somebody, you need to take off that, what did I say? I go like, before you start, like, opening your big mouth with that bozo nose, take it off before you start clowning on people. That's what I said. I don't know. I thought that was a good comeback. But nobody was laughing. Nobody was smiling. Like, nobody was like, you know. So I don't know if it wasn't that good of a comeback. But, like, people were, like, kind of really annoyed with the whole situation. But I had explained to the other customers on the bus, I said, listen, I did pay for my fare, but I accidentally tapped my transfer away. He sees that on the screen, but he won't allow me to get the service that to get the service that I have every right to have. Anyway, so the police officer, that was that. But, like, the police officer was like, ma'am, you need to get off the bus. And I'm like, officer, you need to get off the bus. Now, my personal opinion about police officers is my own. I'll keep it to myself. But he is a police officer, and I am a citizen, and when a police officer tells you to do something, you just best to get up and do it. Because, like, at this point, they're clearly not, the stupid instructor, the mild retired, like, instructor is not going to, like, look at the screen like he's do his job, like, to try to rectify the situation. That's his job. He's not going to do anything. The bus driver is really pissed off at the whole situation. Frankly, I think that possibly his girlfriend dumped him, was not giving him no sex. He's probably, like, pissed off at something's going on with his life. He's not getting any, and so he comes to work really, like, totally tightened up, like, you know, a fucking, like, ball of stress. And he takes it out on me and whoever else that he was taking it out on. You know what I mean? That's what his problem was. And the officer was just like, come on, you need to get off the bus. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, officer. He was like, just come with me, please. So I'm like, well, I don't, at this point, like, thank God I had my shades, because I was just like, I was starting to get, like, a little watery eyed. I wasn't crying at this point, but, like, but I'm like, he was like, let me see your card. He took me over, like, to the machines where you put money onto the Charlie card. So he took me over there. He put in his little code, and he was like, okay, so yeah, you paid twice. So I'm like, yes, officer. He was like, and then he told me, he was like, oh, you are correct. You're right. I don't know, why didn't he let you on? You must have said something to him that really sent him over, like, railing. And I'm like, no, your officer. Like, right now how I'm talking to you, I think that I'm talking to you really, I'm upset, but I'm talking to you really respectfully. But even with him, I wasn't even upset at that point. I just knew that there was a situation that needed to be talked out. And for him to understand that, like, okay, well, she did pay, let's just figure it out. Like, I haven't even gotten upset, your officer. I haven't even gotten upset with him. And I was being very respectful. I don't understand why I was being thrown out the bus. And he had explained to me, he was like, listen, truth of the matter is that the drivers here, you know, they really don't, they're getting paid to either park or drive. So he doesn't even care if he's moving the bus or not, you know. And we just don't want to. I'm like, then I'm thinking in my head, like, how come the MBTA does not have such a tight rein on their drivers that they get to go all willy-nilly and do what the hell they want? Because if I was the boss there, I'd be like, oh, you don't want to do what you're supposed to do, bye, you're fired. Because I know that in my file cabinet, aka computer cabinet, files, like archives, like, I know that there's a billion other applicants who are waiting to get your job. See ya. Like, what's going on? Like, why do the drivers get to treat customers like crap like that? But anyways, that's just me, like, thinking that. But he goes like this, he was like, you were right, so what I'm going to do is, you know, if you want to make a complaint, make sure you got the time and I later on did try to make a complaint, but the truth is, but what happened was is that number one, I didn't get the bus number. Number two, when I gave him the card when I gave him the card code on my card, he said that there was no archive of me getting on any bus. I was like, how did that even happen? How did it get erased? I was like, did the officer like erase it? Like, what's going on? He was like, there's no way of it being erased like that. I'm like, then where is it? Because they were seeing it. I don't know, it was like a whole thing. But anyways, yeah, so I was just like sitting there like just so upset. But at this point, I was just like, I don't even, like, I started crying. Like, now I'm standing there crying with my shades on. I don't think he knew it, but I think that maybe he did, because I had a little shaking in my voice. Like, I was just so upset. But yeah, he waited with me for a while, like, but then I was just like, I'm not getting on the 42, I'm going to get on the 66, I'm going home. And yeah, so he didn't even wait. The officer, he's supposed to wait to get me on that bus. You know what, at the end of the day, you know, I was so upset, I just didn't even care. Remember I had said that it was short? It was short. It was like $1.40, so I had to put another 15 cents on the card in order to, I just paid to fucking get on the bus. I'm like, I don't even care. But let me tell you something, I was just like, this shit is happening, like, oh my God, right? So as I'm sitting on the bus, you know, like the window above, like if you have to click it and it goes out a little bit for you to get fresh air. So I'm sitting there, I'm having such bad luck that I'm like, so like everything is just like coming at me, like the window falls down, like not off the hinges, but like falls out, and I'm like, ah, like I'm gonna die. I just felt like I was having such bad luck. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know, I just want to get home. I want to get home. I'm like, get me home. I just felt like that, right? So I finally get home, and my son was home at 10:30 in the morning, right? Because he went off to school, and they basically said, you go home, because it's like the last day of school, right? So I'm just like, oh. So I had told him exactly what happened, and I'm like, kind of like not really crying. My eyes are like watery. But then guess what the fuck happened? I don't even know where this came from, but I'm walking, and then all of a sudden I felt like this sharp pain, and it goes. I stepped on a tack. I stepped on a fucking tack, and that's when I was like. Yeah, I started bawling, crying. I'm laughing at it now because it's like totally over. I don't know. I feel like a little better, you know. But I started bawling and I started crying. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on with me? Why did I step on a tag? Where did it even come from? Why did this even happen to me? From morning until now, I just, you know, like, I was like, I don't want to go out anymore. I don't want to go out anymore. My son's just like, Mom, are you alright? I'm so sorry. Because, like, okay, he was kind of, like, looking at me like, oh, like, he felt really bad for me. But he doesn't ever, like, hardly ever see me cry because I never cry. I don't cry at the drop of the hat for nothing. So I'm the type of person, you suck it up out of a cup, and there's a systematical way of dealing with things with tact and diplomacy, and if you do that, things will get resolved, and there's no need to be like, to go over the top, like crying and all that business. You might get upset, but like things will get taken care of. But there's so much stuff happening to me, like I just got to like fed up to here, and it was just like, I started crying. It was like really crazy. Oh my God. So I had to tell you guys that story time of me and my really bad, like, I'm hoping that was like the breaking of like the last thing before like the Wheel of Fortune turns, because I'm just like, I can't deal with this anymore. I don't know. I don't feel like too many bad things are happening now, but like, yeah, I think that was like the straw that hit that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But that was my experience, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So that's it. Oh man, crazy. But mwah, mwah, love everybody, and I'm gonna let you guys go until my next story time. Yeah, okay, bye.